Alright, welcome everyone. Welcome to our live on regional integration. Alright. Mrs. Davis, please accept the request because I just sent it to you.
Here I am.
Hi, Mrs. Davis.
Hi.
Alright, so we're just giving them about 5 minutes to get on the live.
Okay. And how have you been keeping up, sir?
See me, I'm supposed to put on about 10 pounds. Because I've been
because
you
know you love your belly.
I've been eating food and sleeping, trust me. I can feel it in my clothes that I've been gaining weight. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yes.
And it's not a good look. Because you know I'm a big and favorite cow already, right? So.
And we know, so when you put on weight, you put it on for your head first.
I'm big already, and I took up 3/4 of the screen. Jesus God. I say I'm in my bed so till I'm tired. I mean, I've been tired and I'm not doing anything too tough. You understand?
Yeah.
But at least me inside this morning, I get up and I feel my throat. I feel so 100. Because I get up and go eat 2 pieces of garlic, I tell them man and take one clarity. Because them just say, I know your throat, the corona start first.
Me know. But other that, I have to be out and about, because I have lots of kids at home. I have to get grocery. And today, of course, when we did the test run, my dog is ill in this time. Dog never sick yet, but him sick today. So my carry him go JSPCA. I may feel sick.
Okay.
Being on the road, but feel sick.
See, not even me no go. The barber if you touch your head and your face when you trim, I'm afraid of it. So not even.
Can I tell you?
The man and shave. Not even barber me no go, so me go look like a caveman.
Well, better to look like a caveman than to be ill. And I'm hoping all of you guys, you students, you're keeping safe. I hope you're not on the road, up and about. Don't take this as a time to be touring. Don't take this as a time to be taking excursions. Stay home. And yes, we know it's hard because we're used to our daily routines of being up and about every day. But it is better for us to be safe and healthy than to be about and happy and then sick, right?
So true.
Okay.
Alright, so guys, we're about to begin because it's almost 5 minutes after 4. Please note.
And we have 40 persons.
Right, this is Mrs. Davis. She's also a teacher at Pembroke High School. Right, she's a teacher of English and literature. She used to teach social studies, but not anymore. But she is the guru on regional integration, so that is why I asked her to come on this live. She's way better than me. So that's why
you flatter me.
So, Mrs. Davis, you know what I always draw feel when a regional integration time, right? She has a lot of knowledge. So I don't know how well she going to talk and actually, if you use Instagram, if you talk and look on the comments, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so
I'm getting
talk, like
into it.
A glimpse on the comments. So students, listen attentively and ask questions, or she's going too fast, or if you're not clear on something, you can ask her. I will take myself away from the live. Can I make myself mistakes like a big stooge?
No, you can learn something actually.
That is true. So Mrs. Davis also remind them that this live will be 2 days. So 1 hour for today and then 1 hour tomorrow. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mrs. Davis will come again because regional integration is a whole lot. So she said she can't do it in 1 hour. So we're doing it 2 hours. So today and tomorrow. We're already almost 5 minutes in. We don't want to take up no more of your time. Go ahead, Mrs. Davis.
All right. All right, let's go, students. Let's go. So, first of all, we need to have our definition of what is regional integration. Before we even get into the development and everything, what is regional integration? Regional integration can be seen as teamwork among countries which have multi-ethnic, multi-religious communities to realize social, economic, and political benefits for the peoples of the region in order to achieve sustainable development. So, yes, that's a lot of words. Think of it this way. It is like a group of schools that would come together to win champs then. So the schools realize that, well, I have one athlete that is good in 100 meters. I have a long distance person, but I don't have field students. I don't have field athletes. And another school has field athletes. Another school has people that throw, people that jump, and those three schools come together to work to win champs. So regional integration is the coming together of countries, independent states within a region for cooperation to achieve specified goals. Now, as a region, when we look at the Caribbean countries, we can see that we are small in size in terms of the actual land area, and we are also small in terms of people. And remember, when we looked at, or when you looked at human resources, you realize that human resources are in fact the most valuable resource of any country, right? So as a region, Jamaica is what? Call it 3 million people. And the other Caribbean countries, most of them are smaller than Jamaica. So the Caribbean countries altogether, I wouldn't say we have 10 million people. Yes, I see somebody put up a definition. Michela, Michael Lee.
Michaela, look at
Michaela. Thank you. Michaela. Right, Michaela, yes. Regional integration is a process by which two or more states
agree
to cooperate and work closely together to achieve peace, stability, and wealth. Yes.
That's
right. Good definition. I like that. Now, if we look at the Caribbean, we realize that we are small in number, we're small in landmass, which means that we are small in terms of resources as a single unit. Each country as a single unit. So coming together as a region, it gives us more persons in terms of human resource, and it also gives us more resources to pool together in order to achieve those things that we need to achieve within the region, right? So if you look, I am going to turn my phone camera. Right. If you look on my computer screen, you will see the Caribbean. So we see to our left, we see the Greater Antilles, and then to our right, we see the Lesser Antilles. And those Lesser Antilles countries are very small. And the Caribbean region also includes what we call mainland territories. The Caribbean can be defined as those countries which have one or more borders on the Caribbean Sea, right? And of course, those that are linked historically to the region, such as Cayman Islands. If you look at Cayman, you will see that they are not in the Caribbean Sea, but they are still classified as a part of the Caribbean because of the historical connection and the closeness in proximity to the rest of the Caribbean countries, right? So, because we are small in area and population size, it is harder for single governments to adequately provide and make available social resources as well as progress economically and politically as a single unit. So if we look back at the unit of government, we can see that historically the region itself has similar developments in politically. So you remember, well, you are at that stage now. You're 17, most of you going 18 years old. So you're reaching to that point of being independent, but you are not independent. You still depend on your parents for a number of things, but your parents, realizing that you are partially grown, they will allow you latitude in decisions that you make. Think of the Caribbean region as that in the 1940s. That's the Caribbean. So we were not independent. We were under the republic, not the republic, the representational system of government, right? So each country would elect persons that would represent us to the monarchy, which is the king or queen. And in our case, it would have been the king or queen of England because we were under British rule. Because we were under British rule, we are classified as a Commonwealth country. And I need you to remember that term, Commonwealth. Because all countries...
Mrs. Davis, somebody's asking if the Commonwealth is an example of regional integration.
No, it is not. The Commonwealth would not be an example of integration because the Commonwealth spans countries all over the world, right? In every corner of the world, every continent has a Commonwealth country. So we have Hong Kong is a part of the Commonwealth because Hong Kong was ruled by England. We have Australia, New Zealand. We have the Caribbean, some of the Caribbean countries. United States opted not to be a part of the Commonwealth, but they are, in fact, they were ruled by Britain. Canada is a part of the Commonwealth as well. So Belize. So in every corner of the globe, we have a Commonwealth country. So that would not be an example of regional integration. However, member states within the Commonwealth would have what we call it now, would have multilateral agreements between countries, independent states within the Commonwealth because of our similar history and a sense of brotherhood, being that we were all once, we can classify ourselves as once children of Britain. Now, coming back to that. So, within the representational system of government, countries would have representation to the monarchy, and all decisions would come from the monarchy and trickle down to the states that were ruled by England. Right? Now, eventually, countries were granted what we call universal adult suffrage, beginning with Jamaica in 1944 and continuing throughout the region. Universal adult suffrage is where every individual above the age of 18, whether male or female, have the right to vote. So because before that, you would know that in the representational system, only a certain set of persons were allowed to choose government or ruling individuals for the country. So with the inception of universal voting, the region now moved towards forming a federation, which the federation was a coming together of states within the, well, we wouldn't call them states as yet because we were still not independent, but a coming together of countries within the Caribbean for political gain, right? So the federation the Federation was formed in 1958. Hold on, let me look at the book itself just to make sure. I don't want to give you any wrong dates, because the dates for regional integration, they are very important. So the West Indies Federation, and at this time, Sir Alexander Bustamante, he was the head of government at the time. So in January of 1958, the Federation was formed. And the Federation consisted of, as I said before, Jamaica, and it also included Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and some countries in the Leeward.
Hold on. Some of the students are saying that they look lost, but students, you guys are not following. What Mrs. Davis is doing is giving you a background that led up to integration. So you guys need to listen and follow instead of wasting your time texting in the comments that you're lost and bigging up people. You need to listen. So you're getting background information leading up to integration. So we can't just go in and say they had character West Indies Federation just like that. We have to give you a background so you can understand why integration was necessary and what Caribbean countries look like before integration. So please pay attention and follow. Go ahead.
All right. Now, students, remember, social studies, everything in social studies is linked. Just like with any other aspect of learning, everything is linked. So, we're doing regional integration, but in order to look at integration, regional integration, we have to also look at the systems of government that were in place and how the Caribbean regional integration changed. Each time there was some development politically within the Caribbean, because the two are closely linked. The government of the countries and the type of or the system of government within the countries and the regional integration. They are both linked. Now, as a region, we could not go ahead and have certain agreements with other countries without being independent. So the West Indies Federation was pre-independence. It was formed in 1958, January 1958, right? Now, the West Indies Federation, as I was saying before, it consisted of Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, countries in the Leeward Island, countries in the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands. So those smaller countries that I showed you to the right of the screen, right there in the archipelago, those were also, some of them were also part of the West Indies Federation. Now, when I showed you the map just now, you would see the difference. Big word now, disparity between, yes, the disparity between the size of Jamaica in relation to the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands. As a matter of fact, the closest in size to Jamaica of all the English-speaking Caribbean countries would be Trinidad and Tobago, which Trinidad and Tobago is very small in comparison to the landmass of Jamaica.
Right.
Why am I saying this? If we are larger in size, it goes to follow that we would have had more people and we would have had more resources at the time.
Right.
Not to mention that at that time, pre-independence, Jamaica was looked on as the pearl of the Caribbean. We were the wealthiest country within the Caribbean region at that time.
Yes, yes.
Now, this is significant because it led to disagreements. It led to problems within the West Indies Federation. As I said before, Sir Alexander Bustamante, he was the leader of the government within Jamaica at the time, right? Somebody's asking a question. West in leadership positions felt that they were trained and knowledgeable about their own nation states and could take control of their own governance, right? Yes, thank you for preempting me. I was getting to that. So in 1958, that first attempt at the West Indies Federation, Sir Alexander Bustamante thought that more or less the integration movement, it was not working because Jamaica was the big brother for everyone. And he thought that the dependence of the other member states or the other countries, because we're not member states as yet, the other countries was very great on Jamaica. And therefore, he asked the country for their opinion as to whether we, Jamaica, should remain a part of the Federation or not. This question that he asked has a big word, and we have seen it in recent times with United Kingdom and the European Union. It's called a referendum. So when a government wants to ask the people of a country their opinion in making a very big decision that will impact the lives of all the persons within that country, then it's called a referendum. So Alexander Bustamante, he called for a referendum. So the people in Jamaica voted whether or not we should stay within the West Indies Federation, and the majority of individuals that voted for us to come out of the Federation. Now, with that happening, the West Indies Federation collapsed because one person, Mr. Suarez, can you help me? I don't remember the country leader that said 1 from 10 equals nothing.
No, I don't remember who that was.
Well, what this person was actually saying was, or his the analogy is that Jamaica, because of the strength of the country within the Federation, they could not see the Federation working without Jamaica being a part of the Federation. So, long time, we're leaders. Good. So, therefore, the Federation collapsed. So, the Federation was dissolved in 1962, May 1962. Now, between 1958 and 1962, there are certain developments within the Caribbean region that were significant to us coming back together again to have integration work, which is, as the person said, the countries in the Caribbean thought that they could take control of their own governance, their own affairs. And therefore, we can see that a number of countries between 1961, 1968, a number of countries gained independence. We know of our own independence in 1962, August 1962, and there are other countries that would have gained independence within that period of time between 1961 and 1968, 1970. With this happening, the countries were free to make their own decisions. So you remember when I said, imagine yourselves living in your parents' house. There are certain things that you can make a decision of your own free will, but responsible for you. That was Jamaica pre-independence. After independence...
Mrs. Davis, somebody is saying that, how did it come in May 1962? Wasn't it in January? Was it May that you said that it collapsed?
Yes, I did, but let us leave the May out. 1962 is sufficient. The month is
Right.
not significant right now.
As some persons are
I had said May.
Yeah, but
Leave
it's
that May
January.
out.
So I don't want you students to say that you are confused. That is not an important issue. Just remember the year. It's actually January. Nobody fret about the May. Continue.
Right. So Jamaica and the rest of the region, countries within the region such as Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Guyana now had their independence. So imagine now you have graduated from college and you've moved out of your parents' house. Yes, guess what? You're going to need help. You're going to need help. You want your friends around to help you, and you will ask them what you do when you do whatever. Do you know a moving truck? Yes, we are all consulting each other because being independent is new to us. Same thing within the region. So countries became independent, and because they were young states, new, fresh out the box independent countries, they decided instead of me Jamaica alone, trying to figure out this independence thing, instead of me Guyana alone, trying to figure out this independent thing, let us get together and form some sort of cooperation with each other. Now, can any one of my bright sparks, can you tell me what regional integration body was formed at this time? So first we had the West Indies Federation. What would come next? For some reason, I'm not seeing the comments. Okay.
Yep. In them? All right. I don't know why now.
I see it now. So somebody said CARICOM. No. CARICOM, no. CARIFTA, yes. KC, Ochson, yes. CARIFTA.
Students can have some name on Instagram, Simon.
Can I tell you? Shanette, yes. Yes. CARIFTA. So the next move towards integration was CARIFTA, the Caribbean Free Trade Association. Now, when you hear free trade, what activity comes to your mind first of all? Is it sports? Is it politics? Is it social interaction? What could free trade be? Not seeing any responses. Not seeing any responses to my questions. I'm seeing dates. Seeing dates. Yes, goods can be freely traded without tax, right? So when we talk about trade, we're talking about economics, right? Goods. And goods lead to money. Trading leads to money. So no, Sharmella, not politics, economics. So the Caribbean Free Trade Association, in 1968, it was formed. And the Caribbean Free Trade Association, it was a move towards economically helping each other in terms of trade. So the Caribbean Free Trade Association, there were agreements between member states as to how to proceed with the trading of goods, right? So from the Caribbean Free Trade Association, yes. So from that, then there was more development because the heads of government of the day now realize that we can expand on this thing called regional integration. The cooperation that we share, it doesn't have to be restricted to there being just trade. It can be expanded to now include political and social aspects of our lives, of our countries. So, in 1968, there was a Caribbean Free Trade Association, which then expanded into what we call CARICOM, which the Caribbean community, it was expanded to the Caribbean community. Now, somebody is saying that CARIFTA was founded in 1965. It was not really, it did not really come into being until 1968. So in 1965, 4th of July, there was agreement between the prime ministers of Barbados and British Guyana, and they started looking at the possibility of establishing the free trade area. However, everything was not signed and sealed and dealt with until 1968, right? So, CARIFTA Day, May 1, 1968. It was signed in Georgetown, Guyana in March 15, 1968, and in St. John's, Antigua on March 18, 1968, and the official opening or recognition became effective May 1, 1968. So it was a process which began in 1965, as you pointed out, 4th of July, but it was not completed until 1968. All right? So, from CARIFTA now, we move on to the one that everybody knows and the one that everybody loves to talk about, which is CARICOM. So, in 1973, a treaty was signed. Can anyone tell me what that treaty is called and why? Not seeing, not seeing. Not seeing any new comments. Thank you so much, Slim Queen. Thank you so much. It was 1965 and not 1968. As I explained to you just now, the idea and the talks came into being in 1965, but it was not amalgamated. It was not recognized until 1968. Okay? May 1, 1968, the Caribbean Free Trade Association came into effect. So before 1968, they would have no teeth. They would have no real say in the rules that were made, right? All of that would not be relevant until 1968. I'm trying to read some of your comments.
So some of them put in the name, like Marlon is saying Sugar Ramos.
I'm looking, yes, 1973, yes, Javon, 1973, the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed in Trinidad. Yes, the heads of government kept meetings to discuss the possibility of establishing the free trade area. Yes, Saini. So in 1965, the discussions began, but it was not signed and sealed until May 1, 1968. Okay? So I really don't want us to really get bogged down by the dates, the specific dates, and all of that. So we need to know the order. So first of all, we had the West Indies Federation, 1958, and then 10 years after, we had the Caribbean Free Trade Area. And then 1973, the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed in Trinidad and Tobago, giving way to Caribbean community. So we can see that things are really coming together for the countries, member states within the region, right? So the Treaty of Chaguaramas now, it included more than just trading between the member states. It now included social and political agreements. And what we call them, when we have agreements between more than two countries, we call them multilateral agreements. So multilateral agreements were made between these countries so that we could start moving towards working together socially as well as politically. Somebody's asking, what do you need specific dates? So what do you need specific? I don't understand that question. Nobody, Slim, whatever. Sharmela, what are we saying about 1981? We're at 1973. Please don't put too much information in there for people to become confused. We're moving along a timeline and I want you to work with me, okay? So we're at 1973, the Treaty of Chaguaramas. Now the Treaty of Chaguaramas, it had signatories Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. Honey Ote, West Indies Federation, yes. Treaty of Chaguaramas, yes. Right, so those are the dates that we should focus on. Okay, Mr. Facey, can you allow me, please? Can you please allow me? Please, I'm asking. If it's not too much, allow me to teach and then you ask the questions, and if there's anything that I did not fill in, then you can fill it in. But at this time, I'm asking you, please, not to confuse our students. Thank you very much. So, the CARICOM had 4 signatories. And let me just look in my big book of social studies. So the first signatories, and these you need to write these down because these are usually some question items within the multiple choice. Focus, focus, focus. Stop asking all of those questions now and write down these names. So the signatories, the first CARICOM signatories were Jamaica, Michael Manley. He was the Prime Minister at the time. Barbados, Errol Barrow, B-A-R-R-W. He was a signatory for Barbados. Trinidad and Tobago, Eric Williams. He was the signatory for Trinidad and Tobago. And Guyana, Forbes Burnham, B-U-R-N-H-A-M. He was the signatory for Barbados. So, at first, there were 4 signatories. And of course, from what we know, we can see that other countries signed on. So the less developed countries of Caribbean signed the treaty in St. Lucia on April 17, 1974, and those signatories took effect in 1974. Oh, somebody's asking for the names again. Let me go again. Jamaica, Michael Manley. Barbados, Errol Barrow. Trinidad and Tobago, Eric Williams. Guyana, Forbes Burnham. And I'm going to go one more time. So the signatories for CARICOM, the 4 member states that signed the initial treaty in Chagaramas in 1973, 4 of them signed that treaty in Chagaramas in 1973. And they were Michael Manley of Jamaica, Errol Barrow of Barbados, Eric Williams of Trinidad and Tobago, and Forbes Burnham of Guyana. And remember what I had said earlier about the Caribbean countries being classified not only as island countries, but also mainland territories. So Guyana would be one of those mainland territories because it has a border, it has a coastline on the Caribbean Sea. Yes, Oniote. Yes, yes. Those are the names. Thank you very much. Right. So as I was saying before, so the less developed countries of CARICOM signed the treaty in St. Lucia in 1974, and their signatures became effective in 1974. Now, as we speak today, CARICOM has 15 full members, 5 associate members, and 7 observers. And this book was written some time ago, and maybe it has changed. So, right, so it's still the same. On the caricom.org website, it says that CARICOM is the oldest surviving integration movement of the Caribbean, and it is as I stated. So the membership is 15 full members, 5 associate members, and 7 observers. Now, the status of the members also goes to follow the system of government that those countries would operate under. So, for Jamaica and the other 15 member states, we are independent states. But countries that are not independent would have associate membership or observer status, depending on the agreement within the CARICOM older members as to what status to give whatever country applies for their membership. Okay? Now, the Caribbean community, initially it was restricted to only English-speaking countries or Commonwealth Caribbean countries. But as time progressed, 1975, we see the body accepted Suriname, and Suriname speaks French, and Haiti as well in 1997. Somebody is saying that I'm going too fast. What is it that you're not clear on right now? Can you just tell me? And 15 full members, 5 associates, and 7 observers, right? That is how CARICOM is comprised right now. The person that is saying that I'm going too fast, nobody is Lil Bay, right? That person. Can you tell me what you've missed? Okay. Thank you, Stinger. We are working within a time frame and we have much to cover. So that is why I'm moving quickly. I'm sure the video will be available again for you to go over and over and over. Miss, I'm not clear on the associate members and the original members of, you said 5 associates, 7, yes. 1975 is not so significant, Royalty D. It's just that initially, the first signatories are the 4 that I outlined to you at the treaty in the Treaty of Chaguaramas when it was signed. Other countries signed afterwards. And now we are up to 15 full members. And we have 5 associate members and 7 observers. And as I said to you, that the full members would be those countries that are independent. They are free to join wherever, whatever, whenever, right? The associate members would not be countries that are fully independent. So they would be operating on a different system of government than Jamaica. They wouldn't have a prime minister. They would have what we call a premier, somebody that represents like in the case of what's that country? Bermuda. Is it Mr. Suarez? Is it Bermuda that is governed by America? No, British. You have British.
No, British. I think Bermuda is owned by either Britain or America, one of them.
Right. But so those countries,
to Cayman Islands, those are governed by Britain.
Right. So those countries would not have the final say in being a member of the Caribbean community, and that is why they would be associate members or observers depending on what the countries that are in CARICOM would approve them to be.
Yeah,
right.
10 minutes, Mrs. Davis, for today's session.
How many?
Less than 10.
Oh my. Okay. Now, so yes, I'm breaking up. I'm back again. So, 2 countries that are non-English speaking countries that joined CARICOM, Saini, slow your roll, that joined CARICOM are Haiti and Suriname. Suriname is also referred to as French Guyana. So if you hear of French Guyana, Guiana, that is Suriname. And Haiti. So Suriname joined in 1995 and then Haiti joined in 1997. Haiti was suspended in 2004 and then readmitted in 2006. And Dominican Republic is seeking full membership to be a part of CARICOM. Now, CARICOM has a governing body. So this governing body would accept the applications of countries that are not members, not a member of the Caribbean community. And they would look at several things such as their political and social stability. So Haiti was suspended. Miss Mergrove High School, slow down.
The live will be available on the page, and I'm going to post it on the YouTube page as well.
Haiti was suspended because if you know anything about Haiti's history, you will know that there has been political upheaval in Haiti every now and again. So Haiti was suspended. Mr. Faceit, the last time I'm asking you, please, to just allow me to teach. Obviously, we have not gotten there as yet. When we get there, then you will know. And this is a two-part class because of the bulk of it. Okay? Miss Mergrove, it's rather your school members that are going rather quickly. I'm trying to take my time. All right. So, in 2001, the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed in Barbados to include what we call the Caribbean Single Market and Economy. Now, that is something different from CARICOM. It is included in CARICOM, but it is not the same as CARICOM. Mr. Facey, if you are listening, then you would have received the answer to your question plus more than what you're asking, okay? So, the Caribbean Single Market and Economy was signed. Now, the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, it was signed to give recognition for the need of strengthening the regional cooperation and integration in order to achieve regional development and sustainability, and also to meet the needs of globalization. So somebody is saying, I don't want you to think it was not 2002. It was 2001, July 5th. The treaty was signed in Barbados to include the Caribbean Single Market and Single Market and Economy. Now, in our next class, we are going to look more closely at the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. Also, we're going to look at the OECS. I see Saini was asking about that. So we are going to look at the OECS because it is totally different from CARICOM, but as structures similar. So we're going to look at the difference, and we are also going to look at the ACS. And we also are going to go more in depth into the structure of CARICOM, because CARICOM has a structure that we need to be aware of. Are there any questions? How much time do I have, Mr. Timekeeper?
Less than 5 minutes.
Are there any questions? Anyone?
Yes,
sir, you read, boy, you fix your face, so you're trying.
That's why I'm smiling. My face generally looks like this most of the time. I ask my students about me, and they always ask me why I can't smile.
Shiny, you have a lot of dates I can see, but having dates does not mean that you actually know what they are and how they function and the significance of them, right? And we need to know more than the dates. We need to know what they are. Also, guys, while you are waiting for your next live class, I want you to look at the reasons that integration works. And tomorrow,